Sister wives shock, Janelle rejects Kody's proposal to reunite and introduces her new boyfriend. Hello friends, welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia. And I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates in the ever-unfolding saga of the Brown family. The latest chapter is perhaps the most dramatic yet. Fans of Sister Wives have been captivated by the unraveling of Kody Brown's plural marriage, watching as one wife after another walked away from the family patriarch. But no one expected what happened next. Janelle not only rejected Kody's tearful proposal to reconcile, but she also revealed that she has moved on with a new man, one who seems to bring out a happiness in her that fans haven't seen in years. This is the full story of how Janelle found the strength to say no to Kody's pleas, found love again on her own terms, and began a brand new chapter of her life. The unexpected proposal. It had been months since Kody and Janelle had spoken more than a few words to each other. Since their separation was announced on the show, Janelle had focused on her independence, building her own life in Flagstaff, spending time with her children, hiking the Arizona trails, and rediscovering who she was outside of her marriage. But according to insiders, Kody had grown increasingly lonely and frustrated after Christine left him for David Woolley, and Mary publicly declared she was done being just an option in his life. Robyn, his only remaining wife, was reportedly overwhelmed by his constant mood swings and melancholy. As a result, Kody decided to reach out to Janelle. He thought she was the most reasonable, one source close to the family explained. He believed she would understand that he made mistakes and give him a second chance. He even convinced himself that Janelle missed him. So one summer afternoon, he showed up at Janelle's modest rental home with a bouquet of wildflowers and a letter he had written himself. She was surprised to see him, the insider shared. She thought he was coming by to talk about the kids or maybe finances. But then he handed her the flowers and started talking about how much he missed her. According to witnesses, Kody poured out his heart, saying things like, "You're the one who always kept this family running. I see that now. We can start fresh, just you and me if that's what you want. Let's rebuild what we had. We were always a team." For a brief moment, Janelle just listened. But the moment didn't last. Janelle's calm but firm rejection. Fans who know Janelle well wouldn't be surprised at her reaction. Even at her lowest moments during the show, she has always been level-headed, practical, and direct, and this was no different. Janelle told him the truth. Another source revealed, she said, "You only come back because everyone else left you. You don't love me, you just hate being alone." She reportedly explained to him that she had no interest in returning to a dynamic where she was invisible, unloved, and underappreciated. "You didn't choose me when it mattered," she allegedly said. "You chose Robyn over all of us. You made your bed, now lie in it." Those words, witnesses say, hit Kody hard. His face reportedly flushed red with anger and embarrassment. She didn't raise her voice or cry, the insider added. She just stood her ground. He didn't know what to say. Janelle's new love. But perhaps the biggest surprise came when Janelle introduced Kody to someone else, her new boyfriend, Mark. While Kody was still standing on her porch, trying to process her rejection, Janelle reportedly called out to someone inside. "Mark, can you come out here for a minute?" she said. Mark, a rugged, soft-spoken man in his mid-50s, came outside holding 2 mugs of iced tea. Described as having a weathered face, strong hands, and kind eyes, Mark greeted Kody politely but firmly. Kody looked like he'd seen a ghost, the insider laughed. He had no idea she was dating someone else, according to family sources. Janelle and Mark met several months earlier while hiking in Sedona. Mark, an outdoor enthusiast and local guide, struck up a conversation with her on the trail, and the two quickly bonded over their shared love of nature, independence, and quiet mornings. "He treats her like a queen," one of Janelle's children reportedly said. "He opens doors for her, plans little adventures, and actually listens to her." Fans have since spotted the couple at farmers markets, hiking trails, and even at a cozy cafe where they appeared to be holding hands and laughing. Kody's reaction: if anyone thought Kody would take the news gracefully, they were mistaken. Witnesses say he became visibly upset upon meeting Mark. At first, he allegedly tried to belittle the relationship, suggesting it wouldn't last and that Janelle was just acting out. He reportedly told her, "You're making a mistake, you'll see, he's just a rebound." But Janelle, calm as ever, replied, "No, Kody, you were my mistake." Those words, according to witnesses, ended the conversation. Kody left shortly after, slamming his car door and speeding away. Janelle's new life. In the weeks that followed, Janelle and Mark's relationship became more visible. Though she has not officially confirmed it on social media, she has posted several photos that subtly hint at her happiness, scenic selfies in the mountains, Pictures of romantic dinners and captions about fresh starts and peaceful hearts. Fans have flooded her Instagram with encouragement. "You look so happy and free, Janelle. You deserve this. We've waited years to see you smile like that. Go, girl. Mark seems like such a gentleman. Treat her right." Her children have reportedly embraced Mark as well, according to one source. "He's been really good with the kids. He doesn't try to replace their dad. But he's kind and supportive. They like him a lot." Robyn and the fallout. Meanwhile, back at the Brown household, Robyn is reportedly struggling with Kody's mood swings since his encounter with Janelle. "He came home in a rage," one insider claimed. "He kept saying, 'They're all turning on me,' and complaining about how no one appreciates him." Robyn, who has long been Kody's closest ally, has reportedly grown weary of his constant negativity. Some family friends even claim she has been urging him to seek therapy. "Kody is used to being in control," one friend explained. "Seeing Janelle so happy and with another man is driving him crazy." Fans are eagerly waiting to see if Janelle's new relationship will be featured in the upcoming season of Sister Wives. TLC has been tight-lipped, but leaks from the set suggest that cameras have been following her and Mark on a few outings. "We're going to see a very different Janelle this season," a production source hinted. "She's confident, glowing, and completely done with Kody's drama." Kody, on the other hand, seems to be doubling down on his bitterness. He still thinks he can fix things, another source said, but it looks like that ship has sailed for many fans. Janelle's decision to move on symbolizes a bigger message, that it's never too late to choose yourself. Watching her on the show, you could tell she was always the one keeping the peace, sacrificing her own happiness for the family, one fan commented on Reddit. "Now she's finally living her own life, and it's inspiring." Experts on polygamy and women's empowerment have also weighed in. Dr. Lisa Martins, a therapist specializing in family dynamics, explained, "Janelle's journey shows how leaving an unhealthy dynamic can lead to self-discovery and joy. It's not just about leaving a man. It's about reclaiming your own voice behind the scenes." How she found strength. According to those close to her, Janelle's strength didn't appear overnight. After separating from Kody, she reportedly spent months working on herself, reading self-help books, journaling, spending time with friends, and reconnecting with her passions. She didn't jump into another relationship right away, one friend revealed. She really took time to figure out who she was and what she wanted. Then she met Mark naturally. It wasn't forced. Mark himself reportedly told a friend, "I didn't rescue her. She didn't need rescuing. I just showed up and walked beside her." Christine, who has also moved on with her new husband David, is said to be thrilled for Janelle. "She deserves happiness," Christine reportedly said. "We all do." Mary, though more reserved, has expressed quiet support as well. "It's her time to shine," she allegedly said during a family gathering. Even some of Janelle's children have spoken out on social media. "Proud of you, Mom. You taught us what strength looks like. Love seeing you smile again." As for what's next, sources say Janelle and Mark are taking things slow but steady. They've discussed traveling together, possibly even moving to a more rural area where they can enjoy nature and privacy. "They're not rushing into marriage or anything," a friend said. "They're just enjoying each other's company." TLC insiders hint that this new chapter in Janelle's life will play a central role in the upcoming season, promising fans plenty of emotional moments and, of course, plenty of drama. In a world where Kody Brown once held all the power, Janelle's choice to walk away and to find happiness elsewhere marks a powerful shift. Her story is a reminder that even after decades in a complicated and sometimes painful relationship, it's possible to rediscover joy, love, and self-worth. As one fan put it perfectly on Instagram, "Janelle, you didn't just survive, you thrived. You're an inspiration to us all." And while Kody may still be grappling with the consequences of his actions, Janelle is hiking forward into her future, hand in hand with someone who truly values her. Sister Wives bombshell. Mary turns down Kody's proposal to reunite. "You only want me because you have no one left." The Brown family saga continues to unfold in ways fans never imagined, while audiences are still processing Janelle's decision to reject Kody Brown and move forward with her life and her new boyfriend. Another shocking development has emerged. Mary Brown, Kody's first wife and once his most loyal partner, has also turned down his proposal to reunite, saying she refuses to be his last choice. For years, viewers of Sister Wives have watched Mary endure a painful, one-sided relationship. But the strength she displayed in walking away and in turning Kody down when he came crawling back has inspired countless fans. Here is the full story of Mary's emotional rejection, the history that led to it, and what she's doing now to reclaim her happiness. The long, painful history between Mary and Kody. To understand the power of Mary's rejection, It's necessary to revisit her history with Kody Brown. Mary was Kody's first wife. The two were legally married in 1990, and their early years were filled with love, devotion, and hope. Together they dreamed of building a big family and living a plural lifestyle. Welcoming additional wives and children. For a time, things seemed good. Mary stood by Kody as he spiritually married Janelle, then Christine, and later Robyn. She embraced the idea of sister wives, supporting the vision of a united family. But everything began to change when Robyn entered the family. Not only did Kody become legally married to Robyn after divorcing Mary on paper to adopt Robyn's children, but he also began emotionally pulling away from Mary. Fans watched heartbreaking moments on the show when Mary tried to reach out and was met with cold indifference. Kody even admitted in a confessional, "I don't feel love for her anymore. We don't have intimacy. We're just friends." The catfishing scandal and more. Hardashine 2015. Mary became the subject of a highly publicized catfishing scandal. Lonely and neglected, she began talking to someone online she believed to be a man, only to discover she had been deceived. Kody used the incident as further justification to distance himself, saying he felt betrayed and could never fully trust her again. For years after, Mary lived in emotional limbo, still technically part of the family but pushed to the margins. On the show, she was often seen sitting alone or expressing how invisible she felt. She once tearfully said, "I don't know why I keep trying when nothing ever changes." Mary finds her strength in recent years, though something shifted in Mary. Fans began noticing subtle signs of confidence and independence, selfies with inspirational captions, trips without Kody or the family, investments in her business, and self-care. She started to realize she didn't need Kody's approval to be happy. A close friend revealed she worked hard to rediscover who she is outside of being a wife and a mother. Mary poured herself into her bed and breakfast business, her friendships, and personal growth. She began attending retreats, reading motivational books, and practicing mindfulness. By the time Kody came knocking at her door, Mary had already mentally and emotionally moved on. Kody's desperation. Meanwhile, Kody was unraveling. Christine had left him to marry David Woolley. Janelle was happily dating her new boyfriend, Mark. Even Robyn, his most loyal wife, was reportedly frustrated with his negativity and mood swings, lonely and rejected. Kody began to panic. According to insiders, he decided to approach Mary, believing she was the one who might still want him back. He convinced himself that she'd been waiting for him all this time, a source said. He thought she'd be grateful for the attention, so one crisp evening, Kody drove to Mary's inn in Perowan, Utah, with flowers and what he called a peace offering. The proposal. According to witnesses, Kody arrived at the bed and breakfast unannounced. Mary, who was on the porch drinking tea, greeted him politely but with caution. He sat down and started talking about their past, one observer shared. He said he realized how much she meant to him, that he missed her loyalty and wanted to rebuild what they had. Kody reportedly told her, "Greater than. You've always been the heart of this family. I was too blind to see it. I want to start over with you." Mary, however, sat silently at first, letting him finish his speech. Then she put down her tea, looked him in the eyes, and said quietly, "Greater than. You're only here because you've run out of other options." Mary's powerful rejection. Mary's words seemed to catch Kody off guard. Witnesses say his smile faltered as she continued speaking. "I spent years waiting for you to notice me," she reportedly told him. "I cried myself to sleep more nights than I can count. I begged for scraps of your attention while you flaunted your love for Robyn in front of me." Mary then reportedly stood and crossed her arms. "Now that everyone else has left, you're here not because you love me but because you can't stand to be alone. And I won't be your last choice." Kody allegedly tried to interrupt, saying, "That's not fair," but Mary shook her head. "What's not fair," she replied, "is the way you treated me for the last 10 years. After a few moments of tense silence, Mary reportedly turned and walked into the inn, closing the door behind her. Kody's reaction. Witnesses say Kody sat on the porch for several minutes, stunned. He eventually got up, threw the flowers in the trash, and left without saying another word. Later, he reportedly vented to Robyn, saying Mary was ungrateful and accusing her of turning her back on the family. But according to sources close to Mary, she has no regrets. She's finally free, a friend said, and she's never going back. Fans react. News of Mary's rejection quickly spread through the sister wives fandom. On Instagram and Reddit, fans praised her strength. "Good for you, Mary. You don't owe him anything." She finally said what we've all been screaming at the TV for years. "The glow up is real. She's thriving without him." One fan wrote, "Greater than. Kody thought he could break her and then pick her up when it suited him, but Mary chose herself. That's power." Mary's new life. And like Janelle who has a new boyfriend. Mary is focusing on herself. She's traveling, hosting retreats for women at her inn, and working on a memoir about her journey. She's not dating anyone right now, a source said, but she's open to it in the future on her terms. On social media, Mary has posted cryptic but hopeful captions. Peace feels better than attention. Sometimes the love you're looking for is your own. I am my own home. Her business is thriving. She's surrounded by supportive friends, and she's even started speaking at women's empowerment events. What's next for Kody? Meanwhile, Kody remains in Flagstaff with Robyn, reportedly brooding over the collapse of his plural marriage. Insiders say he's still struggling to accept that the family he once controlled has moved on without him. He still thinks he can fix things, one source said, but it's too late. They've all grown beyond him. Even Robyn has reportedly grown weary of his negativity. According to one insider, she told him, "You pushed them all away. Now you have to live with it." Why Mary's story matters. Mary's decision to reject Kody has resonated deeply with fans, especially women who have endured similar relationships. Therapist Dr. Ellen Ramirez commented, "Greater than Mary's story shows that you can reclaim your power even after years of neglect. It's never too late to choose yourself." Her journey has sparked conversations about self-respect, emotional abuse, and the courage it takes to walk away. How Mary found her strength. According to friends, Mary's transformation didn't happen overnight. After the catfishing scandal and years of feeling invisible, she began working on herself quietly. She started therapy, read a lot of books on healing, and focused on what made her happy. One friend revealed, little by little, she rebuilt herself. Mary also credits her business for giving her purpose, running her and allowed her to meet new people, gain confidence, and discover what she was capable of. Christine, who famously left Kody and is now happily married to David Woolley, has reportedly been supportive of Mary's decision. She told her, "You deserve better," a source shared. Janelle also reached out to Mary after hearing about the encounter, reportedly saying, "Welcome to freedom." Even some of Mary's children and stepchildren have spoken up online, posting messages like, "Proud of you, Mom. You showed us what strength looks like." For years, Mary Brown was known as the quiet, loyal first wife who endured heartbreak and humiliation. But today, she stands as an example of resilience and self-respect. By turning Kody down, she sent a powerful message, not just to him but to everyone watching. "I am not your backup plan. I am not your last resort. I am enough." As she continues to focus on her own happiness, fans eagerly await to see what's next for Mary. Mary's story is not just about leaving a toxic relationship. It's about rediscovering yourself after years of being told you weren't enough. It's about sitting across from the person who broke your heart and saying, "No more." And it's about finding peace, even if it means walking the path alone. For now, Mary walks that path with her head held high, and the world is cheering her on. Sister Wives, Kody finally realizes that Robyn destroyed the real family for years. Sister Wives viewers have watched Kody Brown's polygamist family unravel before their eyes. What began as a bold experiment in love and faith, a husband for wives and a dozen children, gradually became a cautionary tale of favoritism, betrayal, and heartbreak. Now, at last, Kody Brown himself seems to have woken up to the truth that it was his obsession with Robyn, his youngest and most demanding wife, that ultimately destroyed the family he once proudly led. This is the story of that realization and how it came too late to save what he had. The dream of a big love. When Sister Wives premiered in 2010, Kody Brown presented himself as a visionary. He dreamed of building a loving, cooperative, plural family where all his wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and later Robyn, and their children would thrive in harmony. He spoke often about love multiplied, a phrase that became his mantra. He argued that in polygamy, love wasn't divided among wives but expanded an infinite supply. For a while, it even seemed to work, despite struggles. The Browns managed to move from Utah to Las Vegas and then to Flagstaff, Arizona, always holding on to the ideal of family unity. But underneath, something darker was brewing. The arrival of Robyn. When Kody met Robyn, she was a divorced single mother of 3. She charmed him completely. Her tears, her soft voice, her constant need for reassurance seemed to awaken a protective instinct in him. "She needs me more than the others do," Kody once admitted during a confessional, not realizing how much that sentiment revealed. It wasn't long before the family noticed how Robyn became his focus. His visits to his other wives became shorter, less frequent, more mechanical. Meanwhile, he spent long, unhurried nights at Robyn's home. She became not just his favorite wife, but seemingly his only wife. The wives began to break. Christine was the first to crack under the weight of his neglect. For years, She tried to convince herself that polygamy was worth it, that she could endure the loneliness, because it was God's plan. But eventually, she admitted aloud what everyone could see: Kody no longer cared about her. In a now famous scene, she packed her things, loaded up a U-Haul, and left Flagstaff behind for Utah. Mary followed, though more reluctantly. Their marriage had already been shattered by years of emotional distance and the infamous catfishing scandal. Janelle stayed longer than anyone expected, always the most independent of the wives. She managed to maintain some kind of relationship with Kody by keeping her expectations low. But even she could no longer ignore his disinterest. And she too finally left, alone with Robyn. By 2024, Kody was left alone with Robyn. It was what she had always wanted and what he thought he had always wanted, but to his surprise, the house didn't feel warm and full of love anymore. It felt empty. The children stopped coming around, holidays were quiet, the phone rarely rang, and Robyn herself seemed different without the other wives to compete against. She no longer bothered to maintain the fragile sweetness that had once enchanted him. Her tears became manipulative rather than endearing, her demands multiplied. Kody found himself staring out the window at the snow-covered mountains of Flagstaff, wondering where everyone had gone and how it had all gone so wrong. The breaking point came during a family gathering he tried to organize one spring. He invited all the children, even those estranged from him. He hoped that, at least for one day, they could all be together again, but only a handful came. The rest sent polite excuses or no response at all. Christine arrived with her new husband, David. She smiled warmly, but there was a quiet strength in her eyes, a happiness that startled Kody. Mary came briefly, dropping off a gift before leaving again without so much as a hug. Janelle stayed the longest, sitting quietly at the edge of the room. She spoke to her children, laughed with them, ignored Kody completely. And when it came time to take a family photo, Kody noticed something: no one stood near him. Everyone instinctively grouped around Christine and Janelle. Instead, he stood in the back, next to Robyn, realizing that he was no longer the center of this family. If he ever had been, the late realization that night, after everyone left. He sat alone in the living room while Robyn rattled on about how hurt she was by the other wives' disrespect. Her voice droned in his ears like static. And then, suddenly, it hit him: this is all her fault. Not just her fault, of course, he bore responsibility too. He had chosen to indulge her, to prioritize her, to ignore the others, but it was Robyn who had manipulated his guilt, his ego, his need to feel needed. She had cried and pleaded and played the victim until he believed that caring for her was righteous. Even as it broke everyone else's hearts, he saw now that her tears had been weapons, her meekness a disguise, and he had fallen for it completely. The next morning, Kody finally spoke. "You destroyed this family," he said simply. Robyn froze. "You came into this family claiming you just wanted to belong," he continued, "but you never wanted to belong, you wanted to dominate, and I let you." Robyn's eyes filled with tears, but for the first time, Kody didn't feel sympathy. "I don't even recognize myself anymore," he admitted. "I've lost everything: my wives, my children, my dignity, and all I have left is you. And I don't even know if that's what I want anymore." Word of the confrontation spread quickly. The children whispered among themselves. Christine, Janelle, and Mary, though surprised, weren't shocked. They had seen the writing on the wall long before Kody did. Still, they didn't rush back to him. Too much damage had been done, too many years wasted, but slowly, very slowly, some of the children began to reach out to him: a text here, a phone call there, a lunch invitation from one of the sons who had cut him off. Kody understood it would never be the same, but perhaps he could rebuild something, even if it was just a shadow of what once was. Meanwhile, Robyn retreated into herself. Her power over Kody had weakened, and she knew it. Without the family to compete against, her sense of purpose seemed to evaporate. She became more withdrawn, more bitter. At family gatherings, the few she was invited to, she sat in the corner, watching silently as everyone else laughed and talked without her. And for the first time, Kody didn't rush to comfort her. One summer afternoon, Kody drove to Utah to visit Christine and David. They sat on the porch drinking iced tea while the children played in the yard. "You seem lighter," Christine observed. Kody nodded. "I finally see what I did," he admitted. Christine smiled sadly. "We all make mistakes, but the question is what you do next." That stuck with him. He spent the following months reaching out to his children one by one, apologizing without excuses. It was awkward, painful, humbling, but also healing. Through it all, Kody learned several hard truths. Love cannot be forced. Fairness is not optional. Favoritism destroys trust. Tears don't always mean innocence, and once broken, some things can never be fully repaired. By the end of the year, Kody made a shocking announcement he and Robyn were separating. The news rocked the family but also felt inevitable. She was my addiction, he confessed to a friend. But she wasn't my partner, not really. I thought she needed me, but I was the one who needed to feel needed, and I paid for it. Today, Kody lives in a modest house in Flagstaff. He sees his children regularly, he visits Christine and Janelle when invited. He and Mary occasionally share coffee and memories. He spends his free time hiking, reading, trying to rediscover who he is outside of the drama. Robyn, meanwhile, has faded from public view. She lives quietly in a rental house with her children, rarely seen outside. Looking back, Kody admits he should have listened to the warnings. Christine had told him outright, "She's playing you against us." Janelle had begged him to see how hurtful his behavior was. Mary had quietly withdrawn because she knew her voice no longer mattered, but he hadn't heard them. Not then. Now, finally, he does. The Brown family will never return to what it was. But it has found a new equilibrium. The wives are happier apart than they ever were together. The children have grown up, started their own families, and built their own lives, and Kody, though lonely at times, feels a strange sense of peace. Because now, at least, he knows the truth. And knowing is better than living in denial. Fans of Sister Wives have watched Kody's journey with a mix of sympathy and frustration. Many feel vindicated by his late awakening. They saw Robyn's manipulations years ago. Others argue that he only realized it when it was too late, and that he has no one to blame but himself still. His story serves as a warning about what happens when you let love become obsession, and when you prioritize one person at the expense of everyone else. Kody Brown once dreamed of a big, happy, plural family, a shining example of love multiplied. Instead, he ended up alone with the one wife who was never truly satisfied, and lost everyone else in the process. Now he's learning, painfully, slowly, how to be a father, a friend, and maybe even a man again. The real family, the one he destroyed, may never fully forgive him, but perhaps someday, they'll understand that he finally saw what they had always known. That the greatest threat to their family was not outside forces, not societal judgment, not the challenges of polygamy, but the tears of one woman and the blindness of one man. And now, at last, Kody Brown is no longer blind.